Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Octagon Talk number 107. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. I got Nick Davis with me. What's up, boss?
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, a little bit different, going over to the Octagon Talk, not quite including the fantasy name into everything. How we doing, Nick?
Good. Yeah. Just had my birthday. Had a good birthday. Got this cool Caps hat from Justin right before the show. There's also a shirt. So, it was really good. Good for the soul, for sure. So, glad to be back into the swing of my normal life.
Nice. You got any plans for the weekend to celebrate the birthday or Valentine's Day with the lady? Anything like that?
No, we celebrated my birthday last Sunday during the Super Bowl, so cool. That was really good.
Good way to celebrate.
And with me and Allie, we don't need to make our love known, in one single day because we do it every day. So
well, there it is, right?
We really that's kind of how we think about it, and we really don't do anything on Valentine's Day because we just kind of see it as another holiday because my birthday is right freaking there.
Dang, you're not trying to double stack up. I can appreciate that. I
mean, one year I did take her to the aquarium in Baltimore, and that kind of doubled as like my birthday and Valentine's Day. But we kind of just let Valentine's Day just fall to the wayside.
Right, we're going to celebrate it. We're going to get it done, but we're bundling the holiday. So we're bundling this with next month's birthday for me, and our anniversary. So we're triple playing it.
There you go.
That's going to be solid. And we miss the ocean a little bit. We miss the ocean. Speaking of that aquarium, I've been to that aquarium, and fish are cool, but the kids there suck.
Oh man, we went there during my birthday. My birthday always falls like during like a crazy weekday, like Tuesday or Wednesday. So when we went, there was nobody there. So like when we went to underneath and we saw all the fishes and we were just there like by ourselves and honestly, nice. I don't even remember people being there. So that was a really great experience.
That's not how I remembered it. For me, it was like there's like 4 field trips in one day. Like 8 schools there or something like that. And it's like the scene out of a movie where you just see like a grown man get kicked by a little girl. While he was walking up to a fish tank. They were ruthless, unruly children. So I don't like aquariums that much after that experience, especially the Baltimore one. But it's pretty nice. It's a good location. But hope you enjoyed your birthday. Hopefully you have a good rest of the weekend too. Any of your Super Bowl props hit?
I
called the under.
I called the under, and I called the Bucs winning. The offensive line for the Chiefs really played a big factor. So for me, that was my big call. Like I was just like that was going to be the big thing. So
should have gave the MVP to that defensive line of the Bucs.
Hell yeah.
That was wild. All right, cool. So let's get into our UFC 258 preview. Actually, before we do that, let's go over some of the previous knockouts. We had the Sandhagen knockout and the Poirier knockout. Let's go over their potential next opponents, and then we'll jump into the preview a little bit here.
Yeah. Do you want to go? How about we go over the Edgar one? Because I saw that knockout, and man, it was so nasty. Like he just kind of like fell right into that knee.
Oh yeah.
And I saw how Edgar had did a post, I think it was on Instagram, the way that he set it up. But he was saying, he's like, look, guys, like, I'm all good. Thank you all for reaching out. It sucks that this is the kind of game that I'm in, but, great knee by Sandhagen.
Yeah, sometimes you got to eat knees.
Yeah. And for me, it was just like, man, like this guy is like a guy who knows the world he's in. And like he recognizes and like he understands that he's going to get caught. Sandhagen, that's a great notch under the belt to have.
That was sweet. Love me a good flying knee. Wasn't Masvidal-esque, but man, it seemed like he had that in the bag and he was waiting to take it out.
Yeah. It was within 28 seconds or 28 seconons before the end?
28 seconds before the end of the round.
Okay, 28 seconds before the end. But man, that's a great way. And then like before that, he won by a wheel kick. He lost by a rear naked choke, but he's had some great wins. I think he's definitely going up the leaderboard. So who do you think that he's looking at next?
I don't think he's going to get a title shot.
What about Garbrandt?
I like Rob Font more.
Rob Font, where is he? Oh, okay, right there.
Yeah, I like Rob Font more. Garbrandt, I think, is coming off a loss or 2 right now. I think Garbrandt is better, maybe matched up with Moraes. Between the 3, like Garbrandt, Aldo, Frankie Edgar.
Aldo.
I could see like all three of those kind of being in the mix for like, best 2 out of 3 gets a fight. Maybe whoever's the odd man out gets the winner. And, essentially between those 3, one of them is going to move up the chart essentially.
Correct.
I think that Sandhagen and Font would be the best fight. Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan are probably going to be the next, title fight. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, essentially, Yan will probably win it. What do you think between him and Sterling?
I mean, Jan's nasty. I've seen him fight. I think I saw him when he took the belt. He was nasty. So I don't think
Sterling's a pretty evasive fighter. He can mix it up, hands, legs, do it all. It'll be a good matchup either way. But let's just say the winner of that, essentially gets, the winner of Sandhagen and Font. And then obviously, the loser of that maybe goes up against Sterling, get a little matchmaking there.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. The only other person that could possibly be in would be Aldo, but it would be if Font can't fight and
good next opponent for Edgar, I think.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So Edgar and Aldo, I think, would be a good matchup. I don't know about Garbrandt and Font.
No, Garbrandt's way too low. Sorry, I wasn't even looking at the rankings. I just pulled out a bantamweight in my head.
But I mean, Garbrandt could move back up. It's just that
he slid.
Recently, he's slipping. Recently, he's slipping. But for Sandhagen, I like Rob Font the most. I think that just makes the most sense given the rankings. I don't think they're going to put Sterling and Sandhagen together. Sterling's had that 2 spot for a while. I think he's earned it. I think he should be getting a shot here soon. I'm not sure when the last time Jan defended the title, but. Yeah, that fight should be coming up. That should be on the wish list.
He defended the title against Aldo, and I'm pulling up the date. Oh crap! It was.
I think it should be on the wish list for the end of this year. That fight, Jan and Sterling. Sandhagen and Font could be, same situation. Maybe October, August, something like that. For Edgar, anybody else other than Aldo? Maybe Garbrandt, like I mentioned, or Moraes.
Dishavalsh or Marab the Machine Dishvalshli. I'm sorry, I'm killing his name, but he's the only one with multiple wins besides the first 2 in the bantamweight. Everyone else has at max 2 win streak. He's the only one with a 5 win streak, dating back to 2018. So, I mean, he could be that one to be the outside looking in, but get that step in. I think that would be a good fight for Edgar because he has such a solid record coming into the fight. It would be a good notch on both belts.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I mean, they'd sell a fight.
They'd sell a fight. I'd watch it for sure.
The numbers would sell. The numbers would sell for sure. So I wouldn't hate that. Let's move on to the Poirier McGregor knockout. I mean, Poirier just a great combinations, right? I mean,
good for him.
Just bringing it home.
Yeah, I mean that's. What more can you say than that? I mean, it was shocking because we all thought Conor McGregor was coming prepared, but he even said in a post afterwards, there's no there's nothing that can be done about the rest time. He had been out of the ring for a long time, and Poirier hadn't, and he was ready to come and basically took him out. And I think that he should go against Khabib. I think that would be a great fight because Conor lost to Khabib and he lost to Poirier. That would be another one to win, and I think that would, if Khabib had won that, then that's basically Khabib's the best.
Well, so here's the thing with Khabib is Khabib just going to give up the belts?
No,
I mean he's going to fight George St. Pierre, and then I feel like he's gonna hand him over.
Maybe. I mean, he said he was going to retire and then he came back. So,
I mean, it could just be a ploy, right? Just trying to get that extra bankroll from Dana. Just playing some media chess. It's not really, we don't really consider him a savvy guy like that. But maybe his team is getting right with Dad out of the picture. I don't know. If he's going to continue to fight, it's got to be for a lot of money, right? It
has to be marquee.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's got to be the biggest matchups. It's got to be breaking pay-per-view records, et cetera, right? So Poirier, Khabib can do that. I think there's enough hype right now. Poirier's got a lot of media behind him right now. The hot sauce, is he doing the CBD oil too?
I think so.
Yeah. He's getting in the mix. All of that love between him and Conor before the fight, that that prompted up a lot of goodwill for him in the media. So I think a lot of people are really high on him right now. Obviously, a lot of people have always been high on Khabib. He's one of the best fighters of all time, still undefeated. I do think that I'm not going to say he ragdolls George St. Pierre, but he's going to bring home the win. He's the younger, better version of George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre was his idol, growing up. He's a fighter that got him into the ring essentially, or at least the guy that he was following as a child. So I think that fight makes the most sense. But Khabib's got to want to come back and fight. If he doesn't, do we just see Gaethje and Poirier again?
I mean, we'd have to, or Olivier. But that'd be kind of like a boring fight to me because
Olivier says he's only taking title fights right now. So he's only going to take a title fight.
I mean, he has absolutely every reason to because he's not lost from what I'm seeing in the rankings since 2018. Right. He has the longest streak of even Poirier.
But I don't recommend taking that route with Dana because you may have to wait out one, Khabib, and then two for Gaethje and Poirier to fight again.
Yeah.
That could be another year and a half.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you take, what'd you say? He hasn't lost since 2018. When was his last fight?
In 2020, I'm pulling it up right now. It was 2012. So Tony Ferguson. Okay. Ferguson. He won in unanimous. He hasn't lost since Felder in 2017. So he just ripped off like huge amount of wins.
Yeah, I agree. He should be only taking a title fight. You got Michael Chandler now ranked 4th in that division behind Oliveira. I can't imagine he gets a title fight, but is that a fight for Poirier?
It would be a fight to like right now. They're in a kind of a weird position where
because Khabib's holding everybody up.
Khabib's holding everyone up. So with this, it's kind of like you got to kind of sell the tickets, and where the chips fall, they're gonna fall. It kind of sucks, but that's where they're at right now. They have to find the fight that gives them the best, ticket sales. And I think that Chandler and Poirier would be a great fight. I'm not excited to see Olivier and the championship fight, but he's a grappler. He does the submissions. That's fine, but he should only be fighting for a championship because of his style like that. Like he's not going to sell tickets just winning because Mighty Mouse, he was one of those guys that won a lot, but because he would always, go to decision or it wasn't always a knockout or he would do it at like the last second. I've seen him do that. Right. It made Dana and him kind of, butt heads. I think they need to sell some tickets in this division. Okay, fair enough.
Well, let's talk about selling tickets then. Conor McGregor, next opponent. Michael Chandler? Is that too tall an order?
What about Ferguson? They both have 2 losses.
Yeah, I like Tony Ferguson and Conor McGregor. I think that's a marquee ticket. I think a lot of fight fans will get behind that. But Michael Chandler, called about McGregor, called out Poirier. Can he get one of them? Can he get either one?
He can get Poirier. Honestly, like if I was Michael Chandler,
they can't give McGregor just another knockaround fight. They can't give him another Cowboy Cerrone fight.
Yeah,
we need a fight where Conor's gonna have to prove himself because he didn't do it with Poirier.
Prove yourself against Ferguson.
Okay,
prove yourself against Ferguson. Then you can start talking about fighting people in the top 4.
No, I agree.
I think that's a great gatekeeper right there.
I agree. Ferguson or Chandler is perfectly fine for me. The Chandler situation is just that he's not going to have any love before this fight. you know what I mean? Like we saw McGregor and Poirier like practically sucking each other's dicks before this fight. That's not going to be the case with Chandler, and quite frankly, I don't think it'll be the case with Tony Ferguson. But it's more likely, I'd say, more likely to have a little bit more mutual respect there because they've been in the UFC together longer.
McGregor probably sees Chandler as like a kid, even though he has 27 fights. They have the exact same record, 22-5.
Let's go. Let's go.
Book it.
Wrap it up. Let's go. Put a bow on it. October, November.
That sounds good.
Give McGregor some rest. Give him all that time he needs.
Yeah. That's crazy that they both have the same record and we see like, McGregor is like the older guy, but they have the same amount of experience in the ring. That's crazy.
All right, so let's jump over to the actual fight previews. First fight up, we've got Maki Pitolo versus Julian Marquez. Marquez is coming in as the favorite, minus 170 to win. Over under is actually 1.5 right now. To the over 1.5 rounds, we're at minus 180. I have Marquez taking home the win here. I just think he has. They're equal in striking, offense, and defense. But Marquez, I just think, has the better, resume, the better build. He's coming off a loss. He hasn't fought in a while, since like 2018, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But before his last loss, he rallied off 5 wins in a row and 4 finishes in a row, but 5 wins in a row. But yes, I think he's just a better fighter here. What do you think? Can Pitolo stand a chance?
I don't think Pitolo stands a chance.
Mm-hmm.
He's the way I saw. We were talking about this before, like the show, and we were going through like the cards and being like, man, like what's like the worst loss for him? And Justin brought up Callan Potter, and I was like, that loss is actually worse than what it actually like just seems like. Just looking at the cards. He came in the Contender Series winning by left hooks to the body within the first round. That's like perfect. Like that's the kind of guy that Dana wants. I watched that fight. He looked electric. But then you come in against Callan Potter and then you lose by decision, and it's a unanimous decision. Like it wasn't even like a split decision.
It's a very underwhelming performance, we'll say.
Underwhelming. It's almost like your power went away. And
is it like he's just like took his foot off the gas pedal of the hype train? You know what I mean? Like you win a fight in the Contender Series and you come in and you drop your first fight by decision, and it's actually the complete opposite for Marquez. He dropped Phil Hawes with a right foot. He literally picked him up and put his foot in his mouth, winning the Contender Series. But when he came in, he won his first whatever series of fights in the UFC, whatever it was, 4 in a row, and then lost the 1 to was it Di Chirico? Yeah.
By split decision.
Yeah. So, again, split decision, could have been arguable. I think he's just a better fighter. To me, the minus 170, I think is a little too low. I think he should be around like minus 250. I think he's a way better fighter. I think it's just a time off that the books are giving a little bit more value to Pitolo here.
I was just kind of looking at like his win against Charles Byrd, because that's like his one TKO by ground and pound.
Yep.
Charles Byrd is more of a grappler, more of like in the mode of Lyoto Machida in terms of like karate. So he's not like exactly power built. And it kind of like, it seems like he just kind of like overwhelmed him. But then he lost by a guillotine choke and lost to Impa, who's Impa's nasty. So I have no hope for Pitolo. I'm all on Marquez for this fight. He actually has my nickname, the Cuban Missile Crisis. So we're brothers, and I'm gonna go with the homeland here.
We're practically family.
We're practically family. Like we know each other.
I'm going Marquez as well, and you know what? I really don't hate the under 1.5 rounds. I don't like that it's under one. It's 1.5. I'd prefer it to be at the 2 to get a little bit more value there, but I think the books are suspecting an early finish here for Marquez, whether it's submission, TKO, whatever. I'm gonna take him to finish this fight. This one does not go the distance. We'll get into our props a little bit later because there will be plenty, as there are every UFC event. But yeah, I'm gonna take Marquez to finish this one. Do you think it goes the distance?
No.
Nope. Okay.
They're both going to come out swinging, trying to take each other's heads off. And I think Marquez, I've seen him like when he was in the Contender, he was like a mauler, and he's coming back with just not having fought in a long time. He's coming with some power behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pitolo, the only way that he's going to win this fight is coming out super aggressive. He's going to have to take Marquez to the ground, and he's going to have to mount him. And both of these guys have, like I said, equal takedown defense, equal takedown offense. There's really not that much leverage either way. So I'm leaning all towards Marquez here. And he is just a slight favorite. So I do like the value at minus 170. I think I might tie that into one of my fighter parlays. Okay, next up, we got Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. Jim Miller's the underdog here at plus 211. Bobby Green's the favorite at minus 251. Over under here is at 2.5 rounds. Over 2.5 is minus 260. So they're saying this one's going to go the distance. And under 2.5 is paying plus 200. What do you think about this one, Nick?
So I'm looking through the cards, and just about every most recent fight since 2018, Bobby Green has been in nothing but decisions. He doesn't seem to have the knockout power. I always try to look at fighters within the last 3 years because it seems pretty recent of fights. And it'll tell you mostly how they are, power-wise, submission-wise, what game plan they're really going for. This guy's trying to win by decisions. On the other hand, Jim Miller is trying to go for naked chokes all day long. He is trying to choke you out within the first round. I don't think Bobby Green has the from what I'm seeing, he doesn't have the
finishing power.
finishing power, and then also the grappling defense. Like, I don't think that he is. I think he's more of like a striker, and I think that Jim Miller, he's going to come in and try and fight with him, but he's going to end up taking him to the ground. I see him doing this within. You said the over under was 2 rounds,
2.5.
Okay,
and you're
give me 2 rounds. Like, I'm perfectly happy with 2 rounds. That gives me enough room because Jim Miller's finished the armbar round 1, guillotine choke round 1, rear naked choke round 1, rear naked choke round 1. So give me 2 rounds. I'll be happy with that. I think he's going to try and go for the choke in some kind of way and take him out.
I mean, this fight is highlighting 2 really experienced fighters, and I think that Jim Miller is just a little bit too far separated from Bobby Green right now. You mentioned that Bobby Green, the way he's winning is by decisions. Jim Miller doesn't win decisions. That's the big issue, is that he does get a little bit more risky with those submission attempts, and he's been, he's tapped quite a few times in the last was it 5 or 7 fights himself. I'm going to take Bobby Green to finish the fight. I think this one does go the distance, and Bobby Green just wins another decision. Bobby Green's 34, Jim Miller's 37. Jim Miller definitely looks his age. Bobby Green looks, he looks good. He's on the right side of 34 for sure right now. A little bit more of an electric fighter, and to like the grappling and takedowns and whatever. Bobby Green's got like a 72% takedown defense. Miller, I think his offensive takedown percentage is like around the 40s, 39, something like that. So I think Bobby Green still has a little bit more leverage here, and I think the books agree. Jim Miller, he's a guy that can finish you, though. If he gets on top of Bobby Green, he's going to have a hard time. Jim Miller's a big guy. Like his size can overwhelm Green. I mean, this is a lightweight fight. There are going to be some big boys in this one. So I'm looking for a good fight that's going to go to the finish here. So yeah, we're not on the same page there, but I like it. I like it. I like hearing a good argument for Jim Miller. What would Bobby Green have to do to other than finish the fight? Just that's all he's got to do. If the fight goes to the decision, can Miller win?
If he gets to the ground, he has to get right back up, and that's what I think he needs to do. Is he doesn't? You don't want to give Jim the dominating like factor in the scorecard on the ground. And I feel like, like he was saying, Jim's really big, and even though they're lightweights, he's really big.
He's a bear.
It almost looks like he's been on the farm, just like beating up hogs. Like he's got that burliness, and I think that if Green can get up really quickly and not allow Miller to work him and really, take away his stamina, I think he can definitely win. I mean, I think he can win if it goes the distance. But I think Jim Miller is going to come out and try and pull something off, man, because he seems like a guy that's trying to shoot for that fight of the night bonus or submission of the night. Like that's what I get out of Jim Miller, is he's trying to shoot for those bonuses, and he's willing to take those chances.
Nope, absolutely, and that's all you need in every fight is a fighting chance, right? So I like it. It's just that sometimes he can get caught. That's all.
Okay, yeah, anybody can get caught.
This next one, Ian Heines versus Kevin Gastelum. Not my favorite matchup. In general, I like this card, but this one's not. It's not doing any justice for it. Heines, underdog plus 180. Kevin Gastelum minus 210. Over under on this one is 2.5 rounds. Or I'm sorry, 2.5 rounds. Minus 265 to the over, plus 205 to the under. Going to the distance is my pick in this fight. I'm not really in love with either guy. I think there's positives for both. I think Kevin Gastelum is the more experienced fighter, but he doesn't like impress me. What do you think?
I completely agree. His last 3 fights, Jack Hermanson, he lost by heel hook. We were watching that together. Darren Till, split decision, and then Israel Adesanya, unanimous decision loss. But I mean, he won against Bisping. He did lose against Weidman. No contest against Belfort. Fought basically the Donald Cerrone of the generation before, Tim Kennedy. He seemed to be fighting all the time. Nate Marquette, Tyron Woodley, he lost to.
These are good fighters.
Yeah, he's fighting like really solid guys. And when he came into the UFC, he was actually like one of the youngest fighters on Tough when he did it. So he's been sharpening against iron. That's like the one thing that I saw that I really liked Gastelum in this fight, because Heines, he doesn't have like the same kind of resume. The guys that he's won against, or lost against, Omari Akhmedov, and then Derek Brunson, Marquez Perez. Like he's won against a lot of no names and then lost against a few no names. Hasn't gone against the same gauntlet as Gastelum, so that's why I like Gastelum in this one. I think it does go to decision. Against Adanya, against Till, Gastelum went to decision, and I think that he can handle whatever power Heines has, and get to that final round.
Yeah, I agree. I do believe it's going to go the distance. I think Heines does have some upside. He has a very good Muay Thai attack. The problem is, leading with that front leg, you're going to kind of step into Kevin Gastelum's boxing space. Kevin Gastelum really likes to stand and strike. If there's a boxer in this match, it's Kevin Gastelum. That's what can hurt Heines. And I still feel like this fight could end at any time. I do. I just feel like it's going to go the distance. I just feel like neither of these guys overwhelm me enough to say that one's going to finish the fight. I think both of them are going to be taking a nice little bloodbath. I think it's just one of those just really back and forth matches or battles, whatever. And I do think Gastelum, like you said, more experience. Resume is way better. The guys that he's been going up against, way more experience than Heines. I feel like he's going to have a couple of tricks up his sleeves that the younger guy is just going to be a little bit more at a disadvantage. So
yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so next up we got Macy Barber versus Alexa Grosso. I don't know why. Me and Nick both love Macy Barber in this fight. She's an underdog at plus 101. The over-under is also paying plus odds to the under, plus 205 under 2.5 rounds, minus 265 for over 2.5 rounds. Nick, I like Macy Barber for the win and under 2.5 rounds. I like her to finish this fight within a minute and a half, potentially.
Completely agree. I love her resume. I will let Justin definitely explain the last fight that she had, which was a loss. But before that, she was finishing like rear naked choke, ground and pound, knee and punches. Like she is destroying women, and
yeah,
like that's what I really like, and that's also someone that Dana White really likes. He likes someone that's gonna try and finish
showtime.
Yeah, like try and get those bonuses. Like I swear she's probably got 2 or 3 bonuses in here, like just looking at it. And I think that she is a very good fighter. It sucks that she hasn't fought in a good amount of time, just about a year. But I think she's gonna come back and just continue her same thing because. From what Justin told me, did not sound too serious, but I'll let Justin explain it.
And it's just really popular, like on YouTube and stuff like that. The Joe Rogan call, he's like, is that guy a human MRI machine? Because in her last fight against Roxanne Montefiore, she did suffer a small partial ACL tear, and it was just very comical because. There was, the ring doctor comes in right before they're about to start the third round and stops her and inspects her knee, which you never see in the UFC, period. And then he just kind of rubs her leg, checks it out, rubs her knee, he's gets up kind of Mr. Miyagi style and just yeah, she's got a small partial ACL tear. She'll be fine. No big deal. I remember watching it just going huh? And then Joe Rogan says hey, what the hell? Is that guy a human MRI machine? What kind of chiropractor do they have in there? What's going on? So she finishes that fight with Roxanne Montefiore, loses by decision with a small partial ACL tear. The chick's got everything that you want. I mean, she's selling this fight alone off of a loss from Montefiore, who in her right is just way more experienced than Barber is, right? She's had over 40 fights in the UFC. Montefiore. So I feel like Barber just ran into a bad situation, got hurt. This girl's nickname is the Future. She's got swag. She's got the right attitude. The previous fight against who was it? Robertson. She wrote, I believe, 8-0 on her glove. She wrote 8-0 on her gloves before the end of the fight. She has that confidence, and yeah, she has everything that Dana's looking for. She's another fighter that we've referenced that has won by knockout on a Contender Series, and then came in her first UFC fight, won by another knockout. Like Nick said, she just finishes and finishes and finishes. And Alexa Grosso is just kind of underwhelming.
Meh. Just
really underwhelming. And I feel like her experience in the UFC is the only thing that's propping her value up right now. She's the favorite to win this fight at minus 121. The sports books are betting on this one going the distance. And I'm telling you guys right now, they are 1,000,000,000% wrong. I mean, I don't know what I have to put up for it. I'm going to put this in a parlay for sure. I mean, the fights that I've already listed, Marquez, Green, and Barber, I mean, maybe Green and Miller is a little bit closer than I suspected, but I think Barber's going to be making us some money this weekend.
Of course. Let's just go back like the past 5 fights for Grosso, because we all know that Barber just destroyed women besides that, partial tear. So Grosso's last win was against Kim, unanimous decision. Okay. Esperanza, she was on Tough when they did the strawweight series.
Let me guess. Decision.
Lost decision majority.
Okay.
And then she won decision unanimous, and then couple cancels, and then she lost against rear naked choke, won split decision, lost decision unanimous, won decision unanimous. Like that's not a record that I'm like excited about. Like, okay, you can last 3 rounds in the UFC. Congratulations, but how many fights are you like selling? And I think that Macy Barber, not just like her writing 8-0 and like the partial tear and stuff like that. Her fight resume is incredible.
Oh yeah,
and like even men don't even have that kind of resume. And like for me, I'm just like, the books definitely have this wrong. There's really no way to look about it. I guess they're expecting her to not come back, but it's not like she blew up her knee. She just partially tore it, which she was able to finish. Everybody knows that in this day and age, if you have a partial ACL tear, it's not that bad. And
it's not that bad.
It really isn't. Yeah. And if you're able to finish it, you're good. So I have a lot of stock in Macy Barber.
I feel the same way. Like I said, I'm going to take her to win the fight and finish it under 2.5 rounds. So we'll get to the props here in a little bit. Next up, we got the main event. Gilbert Burns coming in as the underdog, plus 222. Kamaru Usman minus 262 favorite, and the over under is 4.5 here. That's a tall order. Minus 146 to go the distance, and plus 116 on the under 4.5 rounds. I'm taking Usman. Nick, I know you got Burns. We'll kind of get into that in a second, but how do you see the fight finishing? Are we under 4.5 or over 4.5?
I think it's going to finish.
Okay.
I think both these guys have a lot of endurance. They have a lot of skill. Usman, he finishes. It's always finishing in like the last round. Like he won by decision against Masvidal. Covington, it was punches, in the 5th round. But man, I felt like Usman had a lot more reason to just absolutely destroy Colby.
Yeah, he wanted to maul him.
Yeah, like I really thought that it was going to be like just destroying, but he finished it in the 5th round. Then he won by decision, Woodley, Dos Anjos decision, Maya decision, Meek decision. Like he had, besides the Colbington finish, he finished a fight in the 1st round in 2017. Since then, it's only been the finish against Covington in round 5. For me, he's not playing to knock out. He's playing to win. And I mentioned it in my article when I did a main card fight preview. He's almost like the Floyd Mayweather of UFC. It seems like he knows how to win the fight. He knows how to attack the weaknesses of the other guy. And from what I saw with like Masvidal and Covington, he really worked them on the ground. He's very strong. He's very intense, and they seem to have no ability to get away from him. With Burns, this guy, like, if you go through his record, he'll have some losses, but then you dig a little bit deeper. This guy's only losing at submission underground or Polaris, which is grappling tournaments. This guy does this on his off time in between UFC fights. That's incredible.
The last UFC loss was Dan Hooker, which is a while ago. It's like 2018. So that is still a while ago.
That's a while ago.
Yeah. So realistically, that's what we're going to consider his last loss. Like Polaris and what was it, Underground 10? Like I'm not really going to put them in the same category when I'm looking at, it's not the same technical fighting styles.
It's not.
So it's really hard to compare.
But the one thing that I did like take away from that was his grappling ability is incredible compared to the other fighters that Usman has fought.
Agreed.
The other guys are mainly strikers. Masvidal, Covington, Woodley. Like those guys are fighters or strikers. And Usman is strong enough where he can take them down and keep them on the ground. Burns, he wants to go to the ground. Please take me to the ground. I got a couple tricks up my sleeve to take you out. And I think Usman, he has a lot stock in being a champion. And I've been very impressed with his run. But if anybody's to take him out, it's Burns, because Burns doesn't want to be on his feet. He'll take him to the ground, and Usman, he'll think, oh man, I'm actually dominating him. But I've seen Royce Gracie take out like 300-pound guys on the ground, and he was just working them. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is way different than just wrestling. I think that Usman is a very strong wrestler, but I think that Burns is going to catch him with something. I'm not saying like it's gonna be like a Kimura or armbar, but something that's just gonna like catch Usman off guard. And I think that's how it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen in like the last round, because both these guys are very intense, and I think that they can both last, going back and forth for 5 rounds. But I think that Burns is going to finish him by submission, just because he's a way better BJJ artist than Usman. Usman is a wrestler.
Well, these guys have been teammates for a really long time, and Usman actually had to leave their gym after their first announced fight, because they've had 2 fights canceled. So they had to like kind of have a divorce, So these guys know each other very, very well. If there is someone that's going to beat Usman, that's going to knock him down from 16 straight wins, it is Gilbert Burns. I am taking Usman in the fight, but this fight should be closer by the sports books. Usman is minus 262 of a favorite. Right now we have Marquez, who's minus 170. He's way more of a favorite over Pitolo, in my opinion, than Usman is over Burns. This is a way closer fight. I feel like he should be closer to like minus 100, minus 125. I don't think they're giving Burns enough credit here, but at the end of the day, they do know each other very well. I do agree with your take that Burns could surprise him with one. To be perfectly honest, to win this fight, I think Gilbert Burns needs to throw out like what we'd call a trick play in football. He needs a flying arm bar or something like that, like a flying submission move, because these guys know each other so well. Burns and Usman both know that they can, both make each other tap. They can both finish each other in 5, and they can both knock each other out, because they do it all the time. They've done it for years with each other. It's just a fact. So when Burns like comes out in media day and says, yeah, Usman knows I can make him tap. He knows I can finish him. It's because he has before. We just haven't seen it. But I guarantee it's gone back. It's been run back the other way, right? I like Usman just because I do believe it does go the distance. I do think that it does go to decision, and Usman will win the decision. If Burns wins, it's by submission. Like, he makes him tap.
What about knee bar? I see that happening, because the one thing I took away when Masvidal was fighting Usman was fighting Masvidal was Usman had an incredibly wide base when he was like over top of him. As a BJJ artist, you're looking for those like those openings, and him being so wide gives you that ability to like really reach for that knee or that ankle or something. I could see that happening for sure, because I think Usman's too strong for like a Kimura or an armbar. I honestly think he's too strong for that.
He has a 100% takedown defense. He's never been taken to the ground. Kamaru Usman. That's a problem for Gilbert Burns.
That's incredible. And like I said, he's a great wrestler. But I think if Burns can get him down on the ground, it's going to be a different story.
But that kind of alludes to like your point about like Usman being kind of like a Mayweather, and the fact that he's very technical. He's a big strategist, in the Octagon, and he's playing for points. And not saying he's like downloading Gilbert Burns like speed or anything like a computer like Mayweather is, but he's very technical, and he understands the leverage of the fight and winning the fight. Like, am I behind right now? Am I ahead? And he knows how to navigate that space. Correct. And I think that his experience and his accolades, he's still a better fighter than Gilbert Burns, in my opinion. And Gilbert Burns has been earning his way to this spot. I just think Usman is still just a better, more all-around fighter. So if it goes to a decision, I think Usman takes home the win. They try to sell another fight.
I would be down for the second fight. Like, I would absolutely love it. The one thing I just took away was, I think that Usman has fought better strikers, but I think in terms of like a complete package of like a complete fighter, Burns is the most complete fighter he's fought. He's going to
the most complete fighter that he's fought in a long time.
Yeah.
I think that we need to move a Woodley kind of like out of the space for both, because he's getting knocked down by everybody.
I think he's at that age now where it's just like, before you would not even think, like, it was always him and Rumble Johnson always fighting, like those fights were incredible to watch. But now, like, he's older, and the strikes are affecting him a lot more than when he was younger. So like, Woodley, he's no longer the gatekeeper in this division. Like, like he's kind of like, if someone's going to get out of the bottom level, they got to go through Woodley. Like it's almost like Woodley's like the first boss, you know, like he's not incredibly hard, but you definitely got to get past something like him to get to the next level.
Like this order right here: Michael Chiesa, Tyron Woodley, Damian Maya, and Neil Magny. Like those are just really underwhelming names right now.
Very underwhelming.
Like, and they're just all in consecutive order in that division. Like, you know, these guys like Masvidal, Leon Edwards, you know, even Covington. I'm not a Covington fan, but he's still got a long way to go, I think, before he gets into that like Woodley territory. I think he can still go toe to toe with some of these guys. It's just that he always just wants to get hit in the face so hard all the time. Like he just talks so much shit, and it's like stupid shit talking. You know, like he's just like bad at it. Hey, number 8. Hey, you don't play so good. Like, but instead what you hear is just like mumbled racist comment, you know, like just something super fucking stupid. Colby Covington, quote unquote, you know, just all the time. So he's always putting a bigger target on his head than he needs to in that division. But yeah, I agree. Tyron Woodley, he's taking a step back. He's kind of that beat him up totem pole guy in that division right now. You know, after this fight, if they don't run it back, I think Masvidal should be getting the loser. I think he gets Burns or another shot at Usman. And then he gets a title shot. What do you think?
Yeah, the loser for sure. Like, I would love to see Usman and Masvidal fight again.
Full camp for Masvidal.
Yes.
I mean, because technically Usman's last win was against Masvidal.
Correct.
Right. And he took him 5 rounds with, hey, golf clap to Masvidal for going 5 rounds with Usman on what, a couple weeks?
Yeah, we watched that fight.
Couple weeks.
That was like the first Fight Island fight, I think.
Yeah, a couple of weeks notice, and he takes it, makes a crazy weight cut at the last minute. There's like, you know, huge, you know, amounts of documentation about how he wound up doing that, which was crazy. He had like a sauna built into he had a portable sauna in his hotel room, bathtub sauna, just ridiculous regimen, just to be able to go 5 rounds with Kamaru Usman and to literally just be punished for a payday, right? You know, I would love to see that fight with a full Masvidal camp. Same thing goes for Burns and Masvidal, really. I mean, that's a great matchup regardless. What do you think about Masvidal Edwards if they can't get Burns in him?
Masvidal and Edwards?
Him and Big Leon.
What about Masvidal and Thompson?
I don't hate that either. I just think that it might sell a few more tickets, might sell a couple more pay-per-views.
Yeah. Well, the next fight for Thompson should honestly be either. Well, I mean, look at Edwards' record. Like, it looks amazing compared to like.
That's what I'm saying. Get him up there.
Yeah, you Edwards should fight Masvidal. Chiesa should fight Thompson, and then whoever wins that fight should fight like the loser of the Edwards Masvidal.
I like that.
We should be matchmakers, dude. I think we could do it. We could definitely do it. We could just sit here at the rankings all day and just
Dana,
we got one for you. We got one. It's gonna work.
Dana. All right, let's jump over to some of the props. I'm going to start with the Gastelum and Ian Heinisch. Does this fight start round 2 or 3? I'm going to say yeah.
I'm going to say round 2, yes.
What about round 3? Round 3, it's paying minus 300 to hit round 3. Again, they're saying this one goes the distance. I say that it does too. That's my only pick in this fight.
No.
Nope. You're saying it finishes?
Oh no, sorry. Yes.
You're saying goes to distance. Okay. Let's see. Goes the distance. Goes the decision. Just going through the points here. Kevin Gastelum by points or Ian Heinisch by points?
Gastelum by points.
Gastelum is by points is paying plus 100. Heinisch by points is paying plus 350.
Put 500 on the draw, or put $5 on the draw.
At plus 6,600 for the draw. I'm not picking that.
Would that have to be like a split decision or no contest?
Right. I don't know. I think it's no, not a split. Not a split.
Okay.
Has to be no contest. Let's see. Man, these props really aren't that great. It's mostly all about going the distance and the method of finish. So what's some value play in this fight for method of finish for Heinisch and Gastelum? Can either one submit the other?
I think Gastelum can submit Heinisch.
Let's see. So Gastelum
by submission plus 850.
The books don't agree with it, but the value's there. I like Gastelum by KO if it's not going to decision. So Gastelum by KO is plus 425. I like that a little bit more. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see that happening.
No love for Heinisch?
I just don't. Gastelum just has so much more resume than him.
And a lot more experience for sure.
I mean, if Heinisch beats Gastelum, that's a great notch for you, man. Like, you're definitely going to go up in the rankings, but this is going to be a big test for you.
Right. All right, so I have Marquez finishing by knockout. Let's see here. I'm going by the method and the round. Marquez knockout in the first round is paying plus 475.
$5.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the third highest odds for a finish. So, yeah, I'm absolutely taking that. People are loving that pick for sure, or at least it's a popular one based on the odds. Let's see. Patolo in the first round is at plus 900, and that's the fourth. So they're saying one of these guys has the opportunity to finish it in the first round. I mean, obviously, that's why we're seeing the 1.5 on the over-under. So I think that we should be looking at that.
Yeah.
Plus 150 to hit under 1.5 rounds for Marquez versus Patolo. We're getting a little bit more value here because if it's not finished by points, the odds makers are saying it's ending in the first. So take your pick, one or the other. Like if you feel like it's going to go to decision, take your guy at value. Patolo is at plus 400 by points. Marquez is plus 260. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I don't think either of these guys are going to submit each other.
No,
they're both power strikers. I can't imagine that.
They're going to come off taking each other's heads off.
Let's see what's the next one. Oh, that's Vieira, the main event for the prelims. Got to get through these cards here.
Here we go. Bobby Green and Jim Miller.
What do you got?
So fight starts round 2. Yes, minus 600. No, plus 400.
They're saying it goes the distance.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, if it goes the distance, Jim Miller's in trouble. Because he's got to make Green tap or finish him with something tricky.
Ooh, the third highest method plus round. Jim Miller round 1 by submission.
There
plus
it is.
600. Here we go.
There it is.
Give it to me.
That's what you need. That's how it's going to happen. Like he gets him to slip. Green makes a mistake, which is doable. I mean, Green, he's an experienced fighter, but I mean, anybody can make a mistake in there. So
Jim Miller round 2 by submission plus 1,400. Down with that too.
Yeah, I mean the 1,400 is solid.
$5 on both. I'd be okay.
Yeah, I like that. I actually kind of like that. I might have to hedge my bet there with that. All right, cool. What's the next one we got up?
I got the Lima one. Oh, Macy Barber. Here we go.
Macy Barber. Give me that first round KO. What's it paying?
Fight starts round 2. Yes, minus 600. No, plus 400.
Okay.
So I mean that you were saying first round knockout. That's pretty good.
I like that. Plus, so that's one. That's plus 400.
Ooh, Macy Barber in first round by KO knockout plus 900.
Give it to me. I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right this very second. Macy Barber. Nope, I got to log in first.
Well, I'll go over the other ones, but I was like, wow, that's
plus
awesome.
900 for the first round finish. Yeah, I am absolutely getting involved.
Let's see if we can hedge that. Macy Barber. Oh, right below it. Macy Barber in round 2 by KO plus 1,200. Oh, that gives you an extra round, and you could, man. That's hedging right there.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, both are big ticket winners. So
yeah.
Let me see here. I'm gonna get it pulled up. You can jump into the Usman one if you want to, because I mean we're both in agreement there. Barber's going to finish her at some point.
All right,
but I'm definitely saying in the first round. But man, yeah, I may just have to go both just to cover my ass.
Yeah. All right. Fight starts round 2 for Usman and Burns. Yes, minus 700. No, plus 475.
Go through each one actually. Like what's round 4?
Yeah, I was going to go through them all. Round 3 is minus 325. No, plus 250. Round 4, yes, minus 220. No, plus 180. Round starts round 5 minus 170. No, or yes, minus 170. No, plus 140. So they're saying it's going to go to distance.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I like the minus 170.
Fighters wins inside the distance. Gilbert Burns plus 350. Ooh,
inside the distance.
I would do that. $5, $1. But
so let's see, 5. Yeah,
because that would be the way he wins for sure. Like I think he's going to submit him if anything.
Yeah, I mean if he submits him, I think is it early or is it late? I mean realistically, it could come at any time because the way I see it, these guys are just going to wear each other down.
So you ready for this? So it's method plus round. Usman by points plus 100.
It's not the greatest value.
Burns by points plus 600. And then Burns, I'm going to find the first submission. Burns submission in round 1 is the highest, plus 2,200. And then round 2 and 3 are next to each other, plus 2,500 and plus 2,800.
What was the round 5 KO or finish? Round 5 submission by Burns. I'm sorry. Round 5 submission.
Plus 4,000.
That's your bet. That's your bet. I mean, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Is he finishes. It goes over the 4.5.
Yeah.
It finishes him in the 5th by submission.
I could see that. Absolutely.
I mean, I feel like it's going to be something weird. Either way, we were talking about, Burns ending it with a knee. It's just as likely that Usman could end it with punches.
I'd be very surprised if that happened because he knows how to win the fight, and I feel like he doesn't want to get caught. Like, I feel like Burns is a good enough grappler where if a guy's swinging on him, he could get into a weird, he could catch his arm in something and, finish it that way. I think Usman's going to really try and keep domination on the ground and keep the Octagon control number really sky high.
Yep.
Like, it's almost like he understands in his brain how the judges are looking at it with like striking, Octagon control, ground control. What else was there?
He's a Rain Man of the UFC,
Yeah. He just knows how to win, and I think that he's going to take it the distance, but Burns is going to have to finish it, man.
Yeah, well, I definitely feel like when we go into the 5th round of that fight, Burns is getting told like, "Hey, man, it's now or never."
Yeah,
that's going to be the case. So, plus 4,000 on the submission to end the fight. I wouldn't hate that. It's really good value. $5 holler.
So round betting. So that means like you can do like Usman or Burns by points, which basically means round 5. But Gilbert Burns in round 5, like anything, plus 3,300. That's a pretty good bet.
That's not terrible.
Yeah. And then Usman in round 5, so he would have to finish it in round 5, plus 1,800. Usman by points, plus 100. So they are expecting Usman to finish this fight.
I'm going that way as well. I'm going with the books on that one. Not going with them on Macy Barber, though. What the hell? It kind of worries me, because some of these numbers, like I said, I just don't agree with. Like, Usman, I think, is favored too much at minus 262. Macy Barber is just not the underdog. I don't care what they say. She's not the underdog. She's a better fighter than Grosso, top to bottom. Gastelum and Heines, minus 210, plus 180. I feel like that's appropriate, I guess. That's a good line. Green and Miller, I do think is closer. I think that they're just trying to steal some people's money on Green, or whatever, just not give them enough value because they just suspect it goes the distance, and Miller has to submit him or finish him to win. Julian Marquez versus Patolo. That's a way more lopsided than they're saying. Minus 170 should be more like minus 270 for Marquez. But again, he's got that time off. I just feel like that's coming into play here. So let's see, Marquez. We're saying that one doesn't go to the finish. Bobby, Green, and Miller. You're saying it does or doesn't go to the finish?
I'm saying it doesn't because Miller's going to try and finish it.
Okay, so Miller. You're saying Miller finishes it. I'm saying Green takes him to the distance and decision. We're both in agreement that Kevin Gastelum will, probably win the fight. It just may not be very sexy.
Correct.
Right? Most likely to go the distance is this fight for sure. I don't want to bet on either fighter. I'm just going to bet this fight goes the distance over 2.5 rounds. Macy Barber, we're saying that one finishes, correct?
Correct. She's going to finish in the first round.
First round. We're both in agreement there. And we're both splitting the Usman and Burns fight. But I'm saying it goes the distance. You're saying it ends in the 5th? All right. Ends in the 5th by Burns. All right. Anything else to finish it off with? That's about it.
That's about it.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys stopping by with us for TITTH number 107. Hopefully you guys enjoy UFC 258. Be sure to drop by for our next episode. Probably about a week and a half or so here. We'll be back with another preview for the next UFC big meal ticket. So take care. Be well. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.